I was at an event at the weekend called Clean Health Live. Clean Health pretty much help personal trainers get qualified, and they run educational courses them online. And I was a guest speaker. I got asked a question on a panel, and to be honest, I didn't even know I was supposed to be on this panel. It was just lucky that I was outside the room when it went on. And this is what Haley said.
I'm a mum of 3 and I work 7 days, and I start at 5:30, work at a gym, come home, and then I work till 7 o'clock doing my own business. My question is, how do you know when to stop a safe, secure income for your own business?
So quickly here, the second I heard this question, I appreciate that a lot of people are in the world of a safety net. They're employed, they're earning money, they have a side quest or a venture that they want to get into, and there has to be a moment of taking a leap. Now, the second I heard this, I was in a similar place, but my leap was going from in-person PT to fully going online. And I'm in fitness first, and one detail I keep out of the videos is I never got above 6 clients in Sydney. So in the UK, I was fully booked for years, and there were 5 coaches at the gym. I was probably number 1 or the number 2 biggest earner there. When I arrived in Sydney, there was 32 personal trainers in the gym. I was there for a year. My rent was $400 a week, so about £200. And about 10 of those personal trainers I never even spoke to for the duration of the year. It was a pretty hostile environment, and I've told a lot of people that someone tried to fight me on my first day at work. So I thought I would answer her question with this.
You're going to be in a position where if you don't make it work, you are fucked. And I cannot express to you how magical that is for progress. So rather than being fearful of the desperation and sticky position you put yourself in, you're not going to believe me until it happens. But a year from now, you will be so grateful that you exposed yourself to this, because there is a certain level that you're going to find that you can only find if you commit.
So just before I told her this, I mentioned there's a story. So I was personal training in George Street Fitness First, and I'd get to work, 6 a.m. because that's where the gym was the busiest. But before then, I had to do a live on Facebook. So I would have to probably start that live at about 5:15 in the morning. Now, I could do that live at home, but my housemates would kill me. So I used to get up, I think about 4:30. I used to chuck my personal training kit on. I used to walk from Bondi Junction to the train station, get the train into the city, get off at Martin Place, and there was a food court called Australia Square. And some people remember this, but it was so early in the morning that they had the little sweepers where they're polishing the floors. And I'd get out my tripod and I'd go live, because I knew that every day I had to do a live stream, and I had to be in the gym at 6, so 5:15 it was. And online, I had a handful of clients, but my face-to-face business was really tough. And because of the hostility of the gym, I didn't know at the time, but I had this big internal dilemma where, although I was trying to build a business, I actually didn't want to build a business because I didn't like it there. There were no windows, it was dark, I didn't really have any friends. The only trainer there that had really spoken to me was Diran, and he introduced me to his mate James, who I now own James Smith Academy with. And there's a moment, it was March 13th, 2017. I remember it clear as day. I've still got screenshots of it. I'm in a group chat with my 2 housemates, Gorgeous George and Ben Willits, still good friends to this day. And there was a group chat we had called 1522. That was our address. And we used to say, it's not a location, it's a way of life. And they went, "Oi, Smithy, how's it going?" And I'll never forget, I sat there in Australia Square, kind of on my laptop thinking, I was like, how do I answer this question? And I had to answer them and say, not good. I prospected all morning. I had no consults booked in. I had no leads. I only had 1 PT session for the day. My rent wasn't even getting covered by the amount of sessions I was doing. I was losing money and I was not earning enough online. And it was only when I typed not good into that WhatsApp bar that I realized my situation. I kind of knew up here it wasn't good, but the second I typed it, I was like, started thinking about the repercussions. If I can't afford my rent here, I can't just go into another gym, because then I'm going to be paying rent in 2 places. Not to mention, I'm already struggling enough with the rent in the apartment. Then there's the fact that about 3 weeks before, George and Ben went to IKEA, kitted out the flat, came back and went, "You owe us $600, about £300. So what do you mean? They're like, we bought the cutlery, we've got the bowls, we've got the plates, we got this, we got that, we got outdoor furniture. And I remember at this point, I had to go to my dad, say, "Dad, can I borrow 300 quid? I'm 27 at this point. And he emailed me, he sent me the money and he said, "Don't tell your mum," because he knew my mum would get worried if she knew I had monetary problems. So I'll never forget, kind of sitting there looking at that, not good. I was like, I need to do something about this. And instead of going back to the gym, I turned around and went in the other direction. I went to a shop that we have in Australia called Officeworks. I got myself a static whiteboard, stick on the wall, got myself some marker pens, got myself a tripod that would hold an iPhone in it. And on the walk home, I put in a podcast to an evidence-based pod, and I would learn about one topic. I'd listen to it for about 45 minutes, get in front of my phone, and I'd be like, okay, 5, 4, 3, hit record, go live. Because I didn't know how to edit. I didn't have a camera. My laptop couldn't edit. I didn't know how to edit. I didn't understand any of this. And I had to perform for like 10 to 12 minutes on that live stream, then upload and hope for the best. But it was that day that I realized I had to give up on my dream of being an in-person PT, and I had to make it work online. And if I didn't do that, I had to move back home into my parents' house. And I had to go back to the gym that I just left. So imagine being in a gym for like 3.5 years, being the top dog. I'm going to Australia, going to live a better life. And then being back 6 months later, tail between your leg, I ran out of money and I couldn't make it work. So what I was saying there, I was trying to portray to Hayley that you kind of need that desperation. If I look back to any kind of time in my life I've done really well, there's been a precursor of desperation. Then whilst the other people are speaking, I can't stop thinking. I spent about 5 minutes about Hayley's situation. I was like, she's got kids, she's got a mortgage, she's got a partner. Spending all day at the gym. It wasn't even the financial side of things I thought about. It was how I would feel if I had to work and I couldn't see my son. That's just one kid, not 3. And then next to me as well, I got Adam Sullivan, personal trainer. Used to hate him. Another video. One of my really good friends now. And I've kind of witnessed him be very generous, let's just say. And if I look at him carefully, I don't think he's being generous so much always for the other person. He's doing it for himself because it makes him feel better. Friday night, he was like, let's go get some cash and give it to homeless people. He wasn't like, go get a camera. It wasn't like, go get a phone. He was like, let's get some cash. Let's go give it to homeless people. And I was like, what a way to get a kick. You know? So I'm sat there and I'm like, give me the mic back. And this is what I said.
Sorry, what was your name? The lady who wanted to quit a job? Hayley, sorry, I've been thinking about this. If you quit next week, I will personally financially guarantee that you will not be out of pocket. So you quit the gym, we'll give it 6 months. If at any point you're in a financial deficit, I'll cover it. I will work with you personally to grow your business one-to-one. And then we get to use case your transformation so that we can help other women do it. Sorry for making you cry.
Oh, that's just too good. I love it.
If James doesn't get you, I will.
Oh!
Hit me up.
This is like Shark Tank now.
So for me, there is one annoying thing. It's a comment from LinkedIn, and that comment says this: James, that's not really helping her. That's giving her a safety net. The safety nets stop people from ever going all in. Real success only comes from when you burn the boats. A mentor covering our losses might feel supportive, but I'm not sure it gives her the mindset she actually needs. And he's welcome to his opinion, but I'm going to prove you why this is wrong. Because firstly, I'll get this off my chest. You want to know the number one reason I'm doing this? And it's going to sound really bad. To make me feel better. I made more money than I've ever made in my life last month, and it was cool, but the reaction that not only I got from Hayley, but Hayley's partner was better. Her partner took me aside about an hour later, and he pretty much just said to me, like, she's working so hard that she's on the verge of, not being able to do this anymore. And I said to him, here's my email address. If she doesn't hit me up on the offer, I'll come to you direct and we'll sort this out. So firstly, this is a selfish gesture. I said this to Hayley too. I go, me doing this will make me feel better than half the other stuff. Because at that point in my life, I only had my dad. And I was very fortunate that my dad had £300 that he could give me to help me buy a fridge. And there have been so many moments in my life where I've not had someone like that. Even young Declan outside doing this edit, if he comes into financial hardship, I can take care of him. Gonna have to pay me back. He'll be editing for me till he's 50, but he'll still have to pay me back, but still. And I kind of know the exact issue that Hayley's in, but the reason number 2 I'm doing this isn't for Hayley, it's for all the Hayleys. It's for the thousands of people, male and female, with families, without families, who have got one foot in a business and one foot in an ambition. Now, for me, I can accept people failing, but I can't accept people staying in this situation. I'm going to get in some of it a bit now so that everyone can kind of understand the dire situation of remaining in this. Now, I'm not going to disclose too much of the personal stuff that Hayley sent to me, and I will be visiting her probably in the next month. Declan and I will fly down. We will, first of all, help her film some content where she is, give her some feedback. And we'll keep checking in with her. It's in my best interest because the better she does, the less it costs me. You know what I mean? So we get our business up and running. I'll be sending her the odd dollar here and there. Got to get my investment back. Okay, let's look at the pitfall of remaining employed when running a business. For that, we best go downstairs. Little side note, new tonic. If you haven't tried it already, you're dead to me. God, yeah. Was yours a bit icy? It's good that. So unfortunately for Hayley, she's having to work a full week at work and then do her personal training on top of that. There's a lot of personal trainers that do this. So let's go Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Go 6 a.m., 7 a.m., 8, 9, 10. So at the moment, that part of Hayley's week pretty much belongs to the gym. So she's now having to build her business on the outside of that. So let's imagine that she's having Sundays off, which I don't think she is. These hours here are going to be the personal training sessions that she can do. The annoying belief is that a lot of people think for a personal trainer that these are your bread and butter sessions. But I may remind you that from, let's say, 5, 6, 7 p.m., this is an awful time to be a personal trainer. Because something like a bench press is a piece of equipment that a lot of people want. So when I used to train people in the evenings, don't know if it's the same for you, someone's paying you a good amount of money and you're like, oh, the bit of equipment we need has got 2 people on it. And you kind of just got to stand around with your client and be like, so how was your weekend? And 10 minutes of session's gone, you got 1 set of bench press out. As a personal trainer, you do not want to have your diary full during the busy times of the day. You want it during the quiet times. And the way you can do that is through marketing. But anyway, now Haley's biggest problem is the same problem that a lot of you youngsters are going to face if you don't fix and sort your PT business and drive demand for your services. For me, growing up, my dad would leave the house at 7 a.m. because he had to drive to the train station, park at the train station, get the train into London that took an hour, swap trains, get into the city of London, then do the same on the way back. I wouldn't see him until 7 p.m. And I don't agree with this, but he said to me he wished he was around more for my childhood. But growing up, I don't ever think that my dad wasn't there. But anyway, that's one of his insecurities as an older person. Now, when looking at Haley's existing situation, she doesn't get to see her children at all. She's got 3 kids because she gets up, she works for the gym all day. The kids come home from school, and she won't mind me saying this, the kids then go to her mum's house. And then by the time that she's finished PTing in the evening, her kids are in bed, already asleep. And she won't see them again until potentially the school run, if she can have a bit of time off from the gym to go get her kids and drop them home. This may pay the bills, but it's not congruent with a good life, nor an acceptable life. Now, we won't use exact figures, but let's say that the gym pays her $1,200 a week, and that is for 39 hours of work. That works out to circa $30 an hour. Don't check my maths. So what I've said is that I'm going to replace this straight away. And this is actually the second time I've done this. I have a member of staff who was working in Pure Gym, and his rent in Pure Gym was £800 a month, but they only wanted him to work 12 hours a week. So I said to him, hey, why don't I pay your gym rent for you and you work for me 12 hours a week, and then you can learn from me, learn the trade, whatever it is. Because this time on the gym floor, working for the gym, I think is dead, counterintuitive, and not productive. First of all, it's going to be difficult to command a good hourly rate over here if you're here wiping down leg presses and changing toilet paper in the toilets. Now, the worst part is these hours for $30 an hour have to stay at $30 an hour. So using this maths, here's what I want to propose. And for anyone out there, this is Australian dollars, so half it for Great British pounds. And some people are going to turn their nose up, go £600 a week, that's loads. Not the purpose of the video. First thing, each PT rate going to be set at $60. That's £30 an hour. There's nothing we're going to do to change that. But the beauty of this is I take over all the risk inside here. Now, I've just given back Haley 39 hours a week. First thing I said to her was have a lay-in, go spend some time with your kids. Because the first thing that I want to do is I want actually Haley to start sleeping until 8 or 9 a.m. every morning, or even 7 a.m., not doing any work, go hang with their kids for a bit, drop the kids to school. So let's say that's 9. And Haley, if you're watching this, which I hope you are, I want you to do this. Even if it takes us twice as long to get to this earning point, I just want you to spend a bit of time with your kids. I want you to wake up, have some toast, have a cup of coffee, let your kids wake you up, whatever it is. I want you to get energy back from this part to begin with. If I catch you waking up at 6 a.m., I will not be happy. And again, I'm happy to keep paying this for as long as it takes. All I ask is that you help us document it so we can help other women, which you seem sound. You'll do this anyway. Now, this part of your afternoon, I want us to focus on building your business. Now, another thing I want us to do is to chill from this bit onwards. The reason I want us to chill here is because I want that time. You're about to do evening PT sessions. Also, your kids are going to come home from school. I want you to pick them up, bring them home, chill with them for a bit. So this is going to become lifestyle time. Now, the times I want you to focus on building your business between 9 a.m. and 2 p.m. If someone says, hey, I want to do a session at 5 or at 4, say, sorry, I'm just not training people at that time. Now, all we need to figure out is how many PT sessions a week do we need to do at $60 to earn $1,200? 60 times 20. Yeah. For us to meet this amount, Haley only needs to do 20 PT sessions a week. So even at the introductory rate, $60, if she never climbs above that, she's already 19 hours better off a week. So just taking her from working for the gym to running her own PT sessions, she can do half the hours at double the money. She gets 19 hours back to spend with her kids, her family, and better get to work on her business. But her price will only really ever go up due to building demand and inflation, mostly through building demand. The second thing we need to consider is this money that she earns is something called PAYE. Could be something different in Australia. It's pretty much income from a business, which means that it can make it, for a lot of you pure gymmers, a lot more difficult to utilize that better from a tax perspective. When you earn the money from personal training, it goes into your business account, then you can spend things that you need for the business, like a MacBook or a phone, or you might even get a certain amount of your Wi-Fi back or your telecommunication data, whatever, because that would actually be a legitimate business cost. When you're employed for a gym, I know in the UK, for example, it's a lot more difficult to claim expenses through that. So even if she was to earn the exact same money, personal training versus working for the gym, she saves 19 hours, probably going to get some more tax benefits, writing things off through her own business, reducing profitability. Again, this is not a tax video. So if she needs 20 hours, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, let's say we don't want her working Saturdays either. Why? Because kids. Suddenly all we're looking at is 4 PT sessions a day. That's right, isn't it? 4 times 5, 20. Perfect. So on Monday, she might do 1 PT session, 2 PT sessions, take a little bit of a break, then come in for the afternoon. Maybe on Tuesday she comes in, she does 3 with a little break, then 1 more. Then unfortunately she has to do 1 there. Fine. Then on Wednesday, she just does 4 in a row. Then she gets a little bit of an afternoon off. Thursday, 2 in the morning, 2 in the afternoon. Friday, 1, then she has 3 in a row. Suddenly, Hayley's still getting lunch breaks. She's still getting a bit of time off. If there is an annoying just 1 hour between clients, I would say to her, go to a local cafe, get your laptop out. Let's maybe write some LinkedIn posts, or let's schedule and script some videos or whatever it is. During this, maybe we walk the floor. Maybe here we talk to our clients and ask them for some testimonials. Maybe here she's going to study in the business mentorship that I've given her free access to. Now, I want this time here to be with the kids. However, when she picks the kids up from school, I don't mind if she then comes home and makes a bit of content, gets a tripod out, does some videos. I don't even mind if she gets the kids involved in the content, having a bit of fun, spending some time with them. Because Hayley's a mum of 3, she's going to find it super relatable to give advice to other mums of 3. It's where obviously you don't want to put kids on social media if you don't want. But another thing that I would say is, if Hayley wants to conduct personal training sessions from her home because she's got a home gym, I would do some flyering. I would get some flyers made and I'd give them out. And this is where some people I think can make a bit of a mistake. Rather than that flyer saying, my name's Hayley, I'm a personal trainer, I would even maybe go out with your kids if they're old enough, especially if you've got like a 15-year-old boy, say, I hope you don't mind my son put this through your letterbox. My name's Hayley, I live in Yarra Valley. Sometimes even say to people to put your road, because if you're going to put flyers out to the local area and you're like, yeah, we're on Fenchurch Street. I know Fenchurch Street. My nan used to live on that street. You already feel like you know each other. Similar to like when you go on holiday, someone's like, where do you live? You're like, oh, I live in Wollongong. No way, we live in Wollongong. Bro, he lives in Wollongong. Can you believe it? So already, this is her potential life. Way better off, same money, if not potentially more. Then there are 2 ways which we would probably move up from here. The one thing I would say is 20 is the amount she needs to break even. The ceiling I would say is probably 25 to 30. So let's just put this here. The maximum amount of sessions, I think for Hayley should be 25. I would say for most people that don't have kids or family commitments, it'd be 30. And I would actually be completely fine if Hayley never did more than 20. Now, once she gets full, I would probably ask her to stop dropping the evening sessions, and I'd rather this part came across to the afternoon. The only reason I'm keeping this here for the time being is that she already has clients in the evening. She's already doing those. But as time fills up, I would see if we can migrate these people, even if it was just 3 days a week, but they would come in and we get some evenings back. So then she's only working late 3 nights a week. And even now, she would come to the gym at 9 a.m. She could go home for a bit between 10 and 12, come in for the afternoon shift. She gets to go home at 6. This is already looking a lot better. Once she's hit this maximum amount of sessions, there's only one thing you can do, and that's put your rates up. Now, if she's charging $60 an hour, it would be real chilled. It'd be like $60 to $65. Now, some people say, oh, do you put everyone's rates up? In a perfect world, yes. But if you want to grandfather any people in on the old rate because they're a legend, you can. Jackie Smith, Susan Green, 2 clients that I had that were just such OGs that I never put their rates up. Now, $5 can seem like a trivial amount, but 5 times 20 is every time that Hayley puts her rates up by $5, she's got $100 more in the pocket. Now, for some of you out there, you might go, what if a couple people drop off? Well, if she loses 1 client because of the price increase, she's still up $40 and doing 1 hour less. People are really scared to increase the hourly rate, but if you're doing it through demand, it's fine. And if people want to challenge you for why you're putting your rates up, you just say the one thing you need to say, sorry, I'm getting too busy. Because the one thing that we cannot go back into is spending all day, every day at the gym. The thing that I need to help Hayley do is to get these training sessions. And the way we're going to do that is by building demand. The way we're going to build demand, 2 ways. And for that, we'll go upstairs. Now, the first thing that I would say is this. I would love people to have online businesses. That's what my mentorships are about, helping people make money online. But the reality is this. For those of you with an in-person trade, it is so much faster to get someone to start doing business with you in person. For instance, today, I could walk the floor, have a conversation with someone, say, hey, I'm looking to be a bit more practical on the gym floor. Can I give you a free introductory session tomorrow? It's be from 10 to 11 because that's the time you came in today. There's absolutely no obligation to train with me. I just want to show you what I can do. They go, yeah, okay, cool. Tomorrow they come in, I train them from 10 to 11. We go through different movement patterns. We look at the squat, we look at the RDL. Maybe I say, oh, do you know what? I think you're doing this incorrectly. I help them a little bit. They go, wow, I've never felt this before. Talk to them a little bit about their goals, what they're struggling to do, what they maybe want to do. And at the end, you go, look, I actually think you know what you're doing. What I propose is that I write you a program. It has 4 sessions in per week. I would like to be present for one of those sessions. Typically, I would charge this per hour. But how about this? For this hourly rate, you get all 4 workouts. Every Monday, we go through how you got on, what you're looking towards. We'll go through your measurements, etc., whatever. And it's going to cost this amount. I propose that you pay for 12 weeks. You can do it half now or all up front, completely up to you. And if we don't get the results that you want, or you seek the progressions you told me were important, I'll refund you in full. Boom. They pay within 24 hours, 48 hours, you've got a client. That does not happen online. takes months. Even some of you guys watching this, you might have to watch my content for 5, 6, 7 hours before you even go through to the landing page. You might have to read my emails for a few weeks. Even the link in this description for 30 ways in 30 days, the average person reads those for 19 days in a row before buying. So we must have an in-person strategy first. That's why to Hayley, the first thing I'm going to say to her is, let's try flyering. I do hope that actually even the way we're working together doing this video, anyone in Yarra Valley in Melbourne could reach out to her and start working with her. I want to start building the socials, creating some content. I want to start building our email list. But the truth is, building socials and email list is a 3 to 6 month task. We're not going to see the fruition of that for months. The in-person thing is the thing we need to do straight away. And actually what I need Hayley to do is some of the ugly stuff, flyering, walking the floor, asking for referrals. And for that, she needs time. She cannot do that while she's employed by the gym. That's why I've taken that over for her. The other important thing is that business owners don't talk about enough is protecting your energy. The reason I want Hayley to start having some lay-ins is because building an online brand, you get beaten up a lot. You get to eat shit a lot. When she's walking that floor and people are saying, I'm not interested, when she's going out there and she's not getting the responses she wants, I at least know that she got a good night's sleep the night before. I at least know that she's going to pick up the kids from school and get to spend a bit of time with them. If you don't get those bits of recharging in between, you're going to find this a lot harder than you need to. For so many people out there that are considering making the leap, I appreciate this is going to be more difficult when you have kids and you have other things involved, but you just need to ask yourself this. And this is a pretty difficult and pressing thing to do. How much work do I need to do to be better off? That's the question. For Hayley, 20 PT sessions, undercharging, $60 an hour. It's £30. It's less than what it was 15 years ago for PT session. 20 hours doing that versus 39 and a half hours for the gym. It's a no-brainer. Then the beautiful thing is, because I suspect where Hayley lives is a bit more remote, and that can be an influencing factor in your hourly rate. When we start to build things up online, we could easily get her to, let's say, $100 a week. And that $100 a week means you get all your programs, you get a check-in, you get someone to talk to, and then she would only need 12 clients to be better off. 12 clients isn't a lot of people. If I said to Hayley, would you rather do 39 hours a week in the gym or manage 12 clients online? It's a no-brainer. Best thing about working online as well, even for myself, the reason that I don't do calls anymore is because my day can be hectic. So I've got a Discord full of people right in front of me here that I'm looking at. I'm going to open my laptop. I'm going to deal with them when I can, and I'm going to close my laptop, and I'm not when I can't. That's the main freedom of working online and operating your own business, is you get to determine when you give your clients your time and energy. Rather than it being an hour on a Wednesday at 11 a.m., you get to open it, and you can even just say to people, hey, I had a really busy day, I'll be back in tomorrow. Over the next coming weeks and months, what I want to find out is how long it takes us for Hayley to get to that point of break even and above it. And then I want to go ask her herself how hard it was. Because if a lady in remote Melbourne can do it in 12 weeks with 3 kids, I think that could be quite an inspiring story for other people. And I'm going to be keeping you up to date on it. So I'm going to put a link to Hayley's Instagram. On Instagram, she's down as Yarra Valley Performance. Although I want to change that immediately to Hayley DeBuff. So stay tuned. We're going to blow Hayley up. And all I want in return from you lot is to do the quiz that I've put in the description below. If you do that, it will tell you where you need to focus on your business. All right, about time I check in with Hayley. Speak to you in a bit. Bye-bye.